Coming in at 5, I got Tom Aspinall. Now, I know some people might say he hasn't defended enough to be on this list, but it's not necessarily about the defenses for me. It's about the way he wins. You know, to get as many first round finishes as he's gotten means that he is on another level from these guys. He's faster, he's stronger, he's more powerful with his punches, he's more fluid with his movements. I don't see anybody beating him, and he's also really good at grappling. That's something he hasn't shown because he hasn't had to, but he's also a very good grappler. Um, I just don't see anybody beating him. I know he has a fight lined up with Cyril Gahn, coming up. I don't see Cyril winning that. Cyril's really good, but I just don't see Cyril, posing much of a threat, especially how John Jones took him out. Um, Tom has a very good grappling, and that's something that people don't talk about, and that's something that probably will be showcased um, against Cyril Gahn. Coming in at number 4, we got Alexander Pantoja. He's an underrated champ, obviously. People don't really pay attention to the lighter weight classes, but he's dominating his division, and people don't see that clearly, but the guy is a monster, you know? His cardio is off the charts. He reminds me of a guy coming up on this list. In the way he just breaks people down by his pace and his relentlessness. Casual fans are gonna say a flyweight champion doesn't belong in the top 5, but if you've actually watched him, you know how he just breaks people. You see it in every fight he's in. His pressure, his wrestling, his grappling, his hands, he has power. He just marches forward like a zombie and he breaks people. That's why he's at 4. Um, Now coming in at number 3, we got Marab Davalishvili. This is the guy I was talking about earlier that I think is a lot like Alexander Pantoja in the way he breaks people with his pressure and his cardio. I already know all the Sean O'Malley fans are, you know, kind of crying in their own head right now. They get emotional, you know. You know how they are. Um, but that was a prime example of why Marab is so good both of those fights. He attacks people's weaknesses. Sean O'Malley, not the best grappler, huh? But he's a great striker. So how about we don't play into his game? How about we pressure him against the fence and we shoot at will and we get takedowns at will and we gas him out so he can't strike. And now what? He's useless. Once he gasses out, he's useless. And Marab knows that. He's intelligent. People think, oh, people listen to the way he talks. They think this guy's some retard. This guy has fantastic coaches behind him. He's a highly intelligent fighter in the way he knows how to break people and how to make them work so they burn their gas. Number 2, that's where he's good. That's where he's best. And number 2, we got Islam Makhachev. You know, he's going up a weight class. He's gonna fight Jack Della Maddalena. That's gonna be a good fight. But I got him at 2. Um, pound for pound, he's a lot of people's number 1. But just look at the Dustin fight. Look at the Dustin Poirier fight. Look at the Alexander Volkanovski fight, the first one. He looked very human in those fights. You could see the cracks in the armor. Um, I don't think he's as good as Habib was. Habib was just on another level of domination. Habib wasn't getting touched. Islam, he gets hit. He gets hit. He gasses. Um, Volkanovski, he gassed him out in that first fight, you know, and you saw that. Um, but I just saw him get hit way too often against Dustin Poirier. Um, and I believe that is the crack in the armor right there for Islam. He's hittable. He's been knocked out before, in the UFC. I know it was early in his career, but that's still, you know, that still factors in because that's still his performance. That's still him getting knocked out. So, um, I just feel like he's too hittable, and he's shown that he will gas out if you push him. So that's why he's at two. He's still a really good fighter. Still, you know, arguably the best fighter in the sport. But for me, number one, the best fighter in the world is Ilya Taporia. Now, why Ilya Taporia? He's undefeated. He KO'd Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira. Three guys that we've never seen get KO'd like he did to them. Especially Max. Max was a that was a shocker because you don't see Max get knocked. We've never seen Max get knocked out or finished. And Volkanovski, you can say like his chin was weakened because of the Islam fight. He took it too fast. He took the Ilya fight too fast, and he didn't let himself recover. You could say that, and I'll buy that. Um, Especially since I'm a Volkanovski fan. Um, but in the Oliveira fight, when he went up to lightweight and just shut that guy's lights off, was insane. That was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Um, it really felt like when Connor went up to lightweight against Eddie Alvarez. Like he just, he had this level of like invincibility almost. Like now, every time he fights, you expect him to shut people's lights off. Um, what he did was perfect. He against Oliveira, he sets up the right hand perfectly. He goes up top with the jab. He goes down low with the jab. Then he throws the right hand as Charles is coming in, right down the pipe. Lands flush, shuts the lights out. Never seen Charles Oliveira get flatlined like that. Um, just you just don't see these top level athletes get dominated the way Ilya dominates them. You don't see that, and that's why that's the mark of a special fighter. And I feel like Ilya is truly special. And I think if him and Islam fought, I think Ilya would win because of his elite wrestling and his elite hands. If you guys like real fight talk, this is the place to be. I'm weighing in on everything I think is worth talking about. No fake hype, just my takes. Also drop your top 5 in the comments. I'll check them out. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hit that sub button, and I'll see you in the next one.